Greetings and hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at algebraic expressions. So an algebraic expression is an expression that contains at least one variable. Now what is a variable? A variable is a letter used to represent an unknown number or value. A term of an expression is a number, a variable, or a product or quotient of a number and a variable. A variable term is a term that contains a variable. A constant term is a term that does not contain a variable. So we have some operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. When we use these operations, we can verbally describe them over here. So for addition, we can use more than, sum, or plus. For subtraction, we can use less than, subtracted from, or difference. For multiplication, we can use product of or multiplied by. And for division, you can use quotient of or divided by. So what we want to do is we want to translate these we want to write these out as a verbal expression from their algebraic expression. So let's take a look at the first one. So we have this 5 touching the x. When the 5 is touching the x, that means 5 times x. Now that little 3 is known as a power. So this x is raised to the power of 3. So 2 the power of 3. And then we're going to add 2 on the end of it, so plus 2. So that's how we write this as a verbal expression from the mathematical algebraic expression. So let's take a look at this next one. So which verbal expression represents 2, 5m squared? So when we look at this, this is going to be 2/5 of m, or times m, and then m is going to be squared. Well, 2/5 times the product of m and 2? No, because it's not the product of m and 2, it's m squared. The quotient of 2 and 5 times the product of m and 2. Again, not the product. 2/5 of m squared. There it is. And then this is not cubed. Cubed would be a little 3. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 2. So we have a4 plus 6b over 7. So if we want to translate this, this would be a to the power of 4 plus, okay, now we're going to get a little tricky. Well, this is a division problem, so we're going to say quotient of, and we're going to do the top first, 6 times b So we got the top done. Now we want to do at the bottom, and 7. And there we go. So this part right here, quotient of 6 times b and 7, that's the second part right here. So now we have a verbal expression. We want to translate it to an algebraic expression. So we have 2 times the quantity y plus 11. So the quantity of y plus 11, and we're going to double that. So 2 times that. Then we have n cubed. As we talked about earlier, n cubed stands for n to the power of 3, increased by 5. So that would be plus 5. So use the verbal phrase 18 increased by the product of 3 and d. So the key verbal phrase in the expression are italicized. Identify which operation each key phrase implies. So increased by implies addition. Product of implies multiplication. So now we want to translate this. So we have 18, and we said increased by means plus the product of 3 and d, so it's going to be 3 times d. In the group play stage of the FIFA World Cup, teams are placed in groups of 4, and they play each other. A team is awarded 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, and 0 points for a loss. So 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. Write an algebraic expression to represent the number of points accumulated. So win, I'm going to say is a W. Tie, I'm going to say is T. And loss, I'm going to say is L. So we want to write an expression for the points they accumulated. So they add up their wins plus their ties plus their losses. But each one of these is not balanced. They're not worth the same amount of points. Wins are worth 3 points. So however many wins they get, we're going to multiply that by 3. Ties are worth 1 point. And then losses are worth no points. So that's going to be 0 times L. Well, 0 times L is just 0. So this will be 3W plus. And when we have a 1 right here, we don't have to write it. We can just leave it as T. We assume that the 1 is already there. So the equation is 3W plus T. Go ahead and review through the notes for today and have a great day.